Good morning, folks. Hi, this is Laurie here. This is Yoga with Laurie. I'm just making sure that this video is running, and I'm preparing this for the big snowstorm that's due tomorrow. We're expecting about 2 feet of snow here in the Berkshires, so this really isn't for my Mexican and Australian friends. However, it is something I think is a great idea to do in terms of preparing yourself prior to snow shoveling, because I'm sure that's a lot of what is going to happen tomorrow, and also what to do after snow shoveling. So there'll be a little bit of preparation, some pandiculation exercises where we flex the body, where we stretch, and then when we relax. That's a great preparation for the body before you go out snow shoveling. And then after you come back, what do you do? How do you kind of take a few moments just to restore, regather, so that you avoid injury and unnecessary pain? So enjoy, and I hope that you can get a chance to do this before you start digging tomorrow. All right. So the first one is just a little bit of preparation. Some pandiculation exercises where we'll be moving the spine in 6 different directions. And I'm going to start with a little bit of cat and cow. And with cat and cow, I'm extending the spine, rotating the elbows inwards and forwards like I'm holding the Sunday newspaper under my armpits. As I exhale, I round the back, tuck the tailbone, drop the head, and really feel that opening of the shoulder blades, release of the neck. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. So once again, just moving the spine in 2 different directions. Now I'm going to take that same exercise, except I'm going to bring the knee and the hand forward, so it's a staggered cat and cow. Inhale, feel that extension of the spine. Take a few breaths here. It doesn't have to be just in rhythm with the breath. Exhale, come into the crunch. And notice the difference when there's a little bit of staggering takes place. Try that a couple more times. Come back to neutral, take a moment to relax. Then stagger the opposite side, left hand forward, left knee forward. Extend, lift, hold those Sunday newspapers. Exhale, crunch, rounding. The hips come forward, rounding the back, shoulder blades apart. Navel comes in towards the spine for that crunch. One more. And then come back into that relaxed state. Drop the hips back into child's pose. Now, it's important in child's pose that you support the head. You can use fists, you can use hands, or depending on the flexibility of the back, you can bring the head down. Another big part of snow shoveling is obviously the twisting of the spine. So we'll do some twisting of the spine in a couple of ways. We'll do the standard way, and then a little bit of pandiculation with that. Inhale, reach that left arm up. Exhale, thread that left hand under that right hand. Bring the side of the head down. Feel that rotation. Try that twice more on that left side. So when we shovel snow, obviously that twist becomes a big part. Take a moment to pause. We're going to use the same side, that left side, except this time, rather than bending the right elbow and bringing the head down to the mat, we'll rotate midway. So watch as I demonstrate the first one, and then we'll do a series of 5 after that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. Hand floats, and I look to that right side, reaching to that right side with that left hand, palm face upwards. Inhale up, exhale, rotate. So 4 more. Inhale. And a lot of the causes for injury in snow shoveling is just the imbalance of the muscles. There tends to be some muscles that are overstrengthened and some that are overstretched. So we need to be very mindful and really pace ourselves when we go out there using a heavy shovel. Try the other side first. The right hand reaches. Bring that right arm, that right side of the head down. Nice stretch through the shoulder joint. One more. And then using that alternative rotation, keeping the hand floating, turning the head to the left, reaching with that right hand palm up. This is all good core strengthening work as well. And we want a stable core. We want the spine stable. We want some stability in the hips and the low back as we shovel. But we want that mobility as well, that ability to turn, to twist. So important to avoid injury, snow shoveling, let me tell you. And then exhale, come back to child's pose, take a moment, and release that lower back. And then just to come into a little downward dog. Stretch the back of the hamstring and the calf muscle. You might like to bend one knee as you stretch the back of the opposite leg by pressing the heel down towards the earth. And I'll demonstrate from both sides. Keep the head relaxed, the neck relaxed. So it's good preparation for the legs to have that stretch in the back. This is also going to protect the lower back, having the hamstring and the calf muscle stretched out before you go. And then walk the hands back to the feet. A little bit of shoulder rotation, maybe half moon, bringing the hands together, extending one hip, opening up the ribs, opening up the outside of the hips. Again, this is all going to be good for that stretching and rotating and lifting. Bring the arms behind the back, open up the chest, and the other side. Really getting that shoulder joint mobile. A little sexy arm motion. As one of my instructors, yoga teachers would call it. And then from here, another really important one is to stand a little bit hip width distance apart and do a little floppy coat sleeve twisting. And this is a really wonderful way to prepare the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, and the cervical spine for that twisting as you snow shovel. You'll notice that the heel of one foot lifts up as I twist in the opposite direction. And I like to focus on the lumbar spine coming around, then the thoracic, then the neck and head last. And of probably everything that I've told you to warm up with, this might even be the best one to do. If you don't have a lot of time and you just want to do it, start with this little twisting exercise. And then slow down. Maybe a little yawning stretch. Clamp the fists and reach. And come into that stretch yawn complex. Oh. And then I'm going to show you some recovery poses. That's a little 10-minute preparation for snow shoveling. Now, after snow shoveling, you come in and boy, it's cold, right? So what do? There's a lot going on, especially in the low back area, the hip area. So I'm going to show you a couple of really nice releases to come to. The first one is to come down onto the back, bring the knees together, feet apart, into a constructive rest pose. This starts to flatten out the lower back, relieving some of that anterior tilt of the pelvis that was going on as you were snow shoveling. So you take your time. I would say you could be here anything from 5 to 15 minutes. An alternative to this is to use a chair where you bring the feet up onto the chair, palms out like this, and trying to bring the knees perpendicular to the hips. Lower back is supported. This is called ecstatic back pose. Palms face upwards. And then a little bit to get into the psoas hip flexor complex. You can take one foot off, bring the hands out at 90 degrees, palms up. It's important to keep that foot perpendicular. I'm hoping that comes out in the video. And you can do that each side. Again, this type of relaxation and restoring, I would take 5 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes of work. I'm racing through it just for the sake of information here. And you can always pause the video, do it for 5 or 15 minutes and see what's next. Now the last one is a recent discovery I came across, and I absolutely love it for a tight psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle is a real culprit for so many issues in the body, including difficulty to breathe, believe it or not. You bring one foot up against the wall, extend the other foot out. Now I'm pressing that extended foot against the wall, into the wall, and as I do that, I start to bend that opposite knee and bring it towards my chest. But as I do, I'm resisting with my hand. So I'm pushing my hand against that thigh. So there's resistance as well as stretch. So often big issues in the body come from either a very tight psoas or a very lax psoas muscle. It can create kyphosis, which is sway back, or it can create lordosis, which is that anterior tilt of the pelvis, like you've got a duck butt. So this is an extremely helpful exercise. I love it. Just discovered it. And then the other side. So come up, extend, press, pushing that right heel in, start to bend that left knee. And as it comes up, resist with that left arm. So you have force going outwards against the wall. It's nice you can do it up against the door frame as well. And release. And my friends, I think if you do that before and after your snow shoveling today, or tomorrow, or whenever, you will find that that's a big release. Happy Sunday. Namaste.